Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping
Hopping
down
down the
the
bunny
bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way. Hey, welcome in to the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast.
Hi.
Woohoo! And here we are on
Woo-hoo, it's early.
March 27th at just after 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. You know, it was funny you should say that.
Yeah.
That I because I got up this morning and I made the coffee and they treated all the cats and sang the treat cat song,
Right.
and then I'm sitting there. Greatest wife ever. She gets up. I made a pot of coffee for her, and we're just sitting there. And I'm scrolling through my phone, and I look, and it's like 8:00, and I'm like 8:00. Oh, I got to get ready for this.
Right.
I'm
Because
like,
we're normally 11.
Yeah, we're normally 11, but now we're here, and this is a very exciting. Okay, I'm done with this stuff. I'll go
For those listening,
Right.
Ron has on Easter ears and the Easter bunny nose and whiskers.
Right.
It's cute.
By the way, I didn't introduce everybody, and so I'm Ron.
Hi.
Ron Ross Radio
Hi,
Show
Ron.
podcast, and then on my right, your left,
Right.
is Mr. John Yaglinski, who is our executive producer and also the my co-host
Hello.
here on the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. I was just listening back to the first radio show, podcast yesterday, which was on
Number one,
which was on Apple Podcasts. By the way, you can get this podcast. I was listening to the audio version, and listening to it, and it was rough. It was interesting. But I do want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Oh, by the way, you can we jumped through a couple of hoops to keep this number because the Google was telling us, hey, we're going to take your number away from you. But if you want to leave any messages for us at all on anything, a topic you want to talk about, 240-415-9090, 240-415-9090. If you're watching us on Facebook Live or on YouTube, then the number's at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, if you're not and you're listening to the podcast, well, the number again is 240-415-9090. We should come up with a jingle. 240-415-9090. Something like that. All right. So if you are watching us, then I've got giant Easter bunny ears and I've got the nose. Now, this, by the way, is very painful. The nose and the teeth and the whiskers. See, the whiskers here are zip ties. And we've punched holes in there, but the base of the zip tie is inside and scraping against my cheek.
Ow.
I know. This is one of the hard part, right?
Ouch.
Let's see. Jim posted a comment. Says, word on the street that John was taking his pilot license test today.
I think that's a callback to a couple shows ago.
It is a callback. That's
Thanks,
very
Jim.
good. Jim's on top of things. All right, hang on. I'm going to disrobe in some fashion.
Jennifer says you're such a cute bunny.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer says I'm such a cute bunny.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, Lord. What is going Ow.
Oh, man. I wanted Bugs Bunny ears. They're not gray. I have another pair of gray ears. I'll tell you why I have all of this stuff.
I didn't know I was supposed to dress up this morning.
Oh, Lord. Oh, now look at my hair. I need a haircut. This is
I just got one.
Bad. It's going everywhere. I haven't scheduled anything for a haircut. All right, here we go. All right, I feel better now that I've got my headphones. I'm not going to adjust this so we're not looking at so much ceiling. All right, I can adjust the camera.
Good.
All right, and if you're listening to this, I know this is scintillating podcast. Okay. So I do want to take a minute at this very beginning because when I posted yesterday that we were going to be changing the date and time of the podcast, I got some well wishes for Baltimore and the things that Baltimore is going through right now with the Francis Scott Key Bridge and the collapse. I do know this morning that they have changed from search and rescue to recovery. They had caught it early enough before the ship collided into one of the supports of the bridge and the bridge collapsed, that they had stopped traffic because they saw the bridge was coming. They got a warning, a mayday from the ship, but it didn't get the construction workers. So the 6 construction workers are now presumed lost. And so now it's a recovery effort. And they're looking at 2 years probably before a new bridge is going to be up and running and traffic's going to be open. Major thoroughfare, I mean, cutting or closing the port of Baltimore, which is the third busiest port in the United States, which I did not know. It's going to affect a lot of in the economy, especially food and car parts. I heard car parts, which is it's going to affect that
which
as
is
well.
already bad, by the way. And again, I'm not. You know, the funny thing is, we all look at this kind of, and we start mentioning, it's going to start, food, car parts, other things. There were a few other things that were mentioned, Amazon packages. I'm like, yeah, but okay. Do you realize what just happened?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we can all deal with the car parts being a little bit longer. Although I will say, having just gotten car parts from Japan, literally to fix my car,
Mm-hmm.
it took a while already. So it's just going to take a little while
A little
longer.
while longer.
But we can all deal. Put it in perspective, people.
But everybody,
Yeah.
the first responders and everybody, the federal government has responded. Of course, the state of Maryland and people outside the state
Yeah.
have responded with support for the first responders. So anyway, Baltimore strong. We want to acknowledge it. Send our. I know how horrible it sounds when you say prayers and thoughts and prayers, but really, just take a minute. It's especially again, it's close to home. It's Baltimore. I know I make a big deal out of the fact that I'm from Baltimore and I live in Maryland, and so yeah, it's a pretty huge deal. I just wanted to acknowledge that right out at the beginning of the
Yeah,
podcast.
I think I
So,
saw today $15 million of economic impact per day that
oh well,
port
yeah,
that the
yeah,
port is closed.
sure,
So
yeah. No, the port is closed. Yeah, there's no
yeah,
way to get by it. You can't get by the
yeah,
bridge
and
or the path the river.
so it's and again, you don't want to be insensitive, but you also realize that there are people that work there, and there are people that have jobs that are connected to that too, so they have to have livelihoods. So there's a lot of impact
There's a
beyond
lot that's going on
just the
with that.
traffic, but thoughts, prayers going out to the
Absolutely.
folks that were lost as a result of that.
So let me give you the headline, and as I move on, and just uh, uh, like we deliver news in our family, we always say, "I'm okay," and then you deliver the news. So let me just tell you, I'm okay,
Oh boy.
but I'm scheduled for some tests, and I'm not a big fan. One of them is a CT scan, CAT scan,
Yeah.
and that's coming up. And so I do want to acknowledge the woman in the scheduling place was fantastic because the greatest wife ever is getting one. I'm getting one. And then I have to get an MRI and I'm not happy. And I tried to get an open MRI and they don't do it. There's only one in our area, which was weird. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I got to go in for an MRI, and
Yeah.
I think the last time when I went in for the heart, and it's not about the heart, it's about something else. Don't worry about it. It's not, like I said, I'm okay. That's these are just tests to make sure that I'm okay. And but the MRI is the thing that's freaking me out because I don't want to go into the tube and so on and so forth. Now, the last time I went in for my heart,
Hmm.
when I was experiencing this anxiety about going into the tube, is they said, "Well, you can just go in on your stomach and look out the end." And I was like, "Oh, what? Why didn't you say that in the first place? Why didn't you let me go
Yeah.
through
Why isn't that an option?
an
Seriously.
hour of this anxiety and
Right.
freaking out, and you're feeding me Valium, and it's doing nothing."
Yeah.
And I mean, that literally went in on my back, and I'm like in, and it's up to my chin. I went, nope, 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 nope. Pull me out, pull me out, pull me out. And they said, "Oh, you can go in on your stomach." Why wasn't that the first thing you said? So hopefully I'm going to be able to do that.
I was
Yep,
not aware you could do that either. Having been, by the way, because of thyroid cancer, having
yes.
had plenty of scans and tests. And by the
Sure.
way,
Yeah.
once you've had, let me just put this way: once you've had a major event in your life and you've gone through these sort of things,
Yeah.
you don't like going through tests again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's something routine.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter because tests find things and you don't. I mean, I'm just giving you the
Yeah.
perspective kind of
Yeah.
where your head's at going into this. It could be the simplest sort of thing, but I'm having a test. I'm having routine blood work. Yeah, but routine blood work now
It's going
found
to come
something
back
and
and
I
like,
got to
oh,
go
you have
get another
elevated
test.
levels.
Or yeah,
Yeah, I know. I
yeah,
know. I
like
know.
and, yeah, old people problems.
I don't want to.
OPP,
I don't want to approach it with the what
the
you don't know
the other
won't hurt
OPP.
you, but that's because that's so not
Right,
true.
right.
But yeah, I know, and it's all hitting at the same time, so we're all getting into the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Jim just posted said MRI. Just keep your eyes closed and don't open. Breathe calmly. Take a nap. Okay. Yeah, Jim, that makes total sense to
Right.
somebody who doesn't have anxiety and claustrophobia. It makes complete sense. It doesn't make sense to somebody who has an irrational fear. It's
Right.
irrational.
Right.
You are suggesting something that's rational.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I could totally close my eyes with the knowledge that there is something right there, and I don't want that.
Right. This is correct.
So hopefully I'll be able to go in over with my on my stomach and look out the end of the tube. It was fine. I looked at the end of the tube. I'm listening to the music, and this was 8 years ago with my almost. It'll be 9 in September with the heart thing. All right, so enough about that. So I just wanted to mention the open MRI, and I'm looking at pictures of open MRI, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look that much better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never done the open arm MRI. I've wanted to, but
Yeah.
Has anybody in the audience ever done that?
Yeah, have you ever done
Just
an open MRI? Yeah,
Yeah,
tell
I'm
us about it.
curious.
You can
Yeah,
put it in the
please.
comment
In the
section.
comments or call. Better yet,
Ooh.
call.
Oh yeah, call the number.
Call the number. What's the
240-415-9090. 240-415-9090.
And tell us about your experience.
All right, so we're at the time of year. This is Holy Week, leading up to Easter Sunday, and being a Catholic boy that I am, and I served masses. I was an altar boy. They call them servers now, but I was an altar boy at the time, and an acolyte, and would I did all of the things, man. I was a candle bearer. I would hold the cross. I would, if you don't know anything about Catholic Mass, that's at the processional as you're walking in. You had two, and usually my brother and me, my older brother Joe and me, they would schedule us together to be at the same Mass so that mom and dad didn't have to go to two Masses. And
it was nice of them.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And then in high school, and this was, this is during grade school, and then in high school at St. Joe's, they would pull me out because they knew that I was an altar boy or server, and I knew what to do. They would pull me out of class, and I would serve for funerals and stuff like that because I knew what to do, and I was a server with. It's funny. I've got a high toleration, I think, for little. How do I say this? How do I say this in a nice Catholic way? For high demand priests, let's put it that way. They can be little, at least one,
little pushy, little demanding,
little Napoleons up there on the altar, snapping their fingers at them. Move, boy, move, stuff like that. This is in the 70s. All right, it was and
it's a different time,
but I knew how to deal with that. And so later on, we had a high demand priest, and I just chatted with him after Mass one time, and we were just chatting away, and he realized that he was like, "Oh, you blah 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 blah." I chipped through that harsh exterior in order to get to talk to the man, who was a great guy. Anyway, so I do remember one time, Holy Week. So Holy Week, if you don't know, is the commemoration of the Passion of Jesus Christ. So he comes into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday as a prophet, and then throughout the week, then they plot to kill him. Thursday.
That's just the quick summary. That's what
it is. Well, that's what it is
that Ron Ross has put together.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Drive carefully.
Comes into town, and then they plot to kill him.
Plot to kill him.
Good night. So long, everybody.
Catholicism in 10 seconds.
The expedited version of the
Yeah,
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of Jesus Christ. And listen, trust me, and if you take this very seriously, I don't mean to be blasphemous. I'm not being
No,
blasphemous. It's very,
no.
this is how I was raised. Okay,
Right.
and so Thursday is Holy Thursday, and that's the Last Supper. Which, as a kid, I had a hard time, as you're learning about other religions, but they don't teach you that a lot when you're a kid in Catholic school. You just learn about your religion, and then later on you learn about Judaism, and then you learn about the Seder, and you learn about Moses and the Ten Commandments, and you see the movie every year, and you're like, oh, the Passover, and you realize now that the Last Supper was a Passover meal, was a Seder meal, and I'm going,
Right.
but what? And there's like, but don't remember, Jesus was Jewish. I'm like, oh, okay. Still trying to put that together in my mind. So yeah, Thursday was the Last Supper. Friday, Good Friday is the crucifixion, and then Saturday, Holy Saturday is Holy Saturday, and then Easter Sunday is the Feast of the Resurrection of Jesus in Easter. There you go. I just gave you a little bit
There's
of
the cycle.
But on Friday, I told you I was an altar boy.
Mm-hmm.
On Good Friday, I would go. They have all around in a Catholic church. They have the Stations of the Cross,
Right.
and I'm holding. I'm a cross bearer as we're walking through the Stations of the Cross, and the people walk through with the priest, and there are prayers that are said at each Station of the Cross. That Jesus is condemned to die. Jesus is scourging the pillar, and all of these things. Okay, they go all the way around and go and ends with the he dies on the cross. And we get to that one, and it started at noon. Traditionally in the Catholic Church, the crucifixion starts at noon, and then he dies at 3:00. And I'm just giving you some traditions of what happened, how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking around, and with and it was about 3:00 when we got to the Station of the Cross that Jesus was dies. And the whole church got dark, and I'm standing there with the cross going, and I'm just looking around, and we're saying the prayers, and people, and it was silence after that. You announce that, and then there's silence, and I'm looking around now. Okay, probably a cloud,
Right. They do exist.
that had obscured the sun.
Right.
But when you're an 11-year-old altar boy, you're doing the Stations of the Cross, and that happens. I'm telling you, man, it felt very real.
Yes.
And then as a boy, and we were blessed because in that and of course I was a television addict. All right, and I watched TV all the time. So much so, that Mom would go outside and play, but I watched TV. I loved television. I'm a television generation. That's me. And so they did and I'd seen the movie The Greatest Story Ever Told, Max von Sydow, and it's the story of Jesus. But then they did a made-for-television movie, and it was a joint British and Italian production called Jesus of Nazareth. And it was with starring Robert Powell. And it starts at the very beginning with the Annunciation and the birth of Christ, so Christmas and all of that stuff. And it was a mini series, as I recall. Was it one or two? Might have been two. I don't
look at
remember.
me.
I don't remember. You never watch this?
I don't know.
I'm
old, Ron. I don't remember stuff anymore.
Well, as a you're younger than I am. What are you talking about?
We're still old, but
I just remember as a 12-year-old, it came out in 1977.
Apparently, Jennifer Skunov.
Yes, so she's
it was an amazing series.
She's seen that, and all the big stars of the day, where James Ferrantino, I believe, played Peter, and but Robert Powell was Jesus, and it was the typical, blue-eyed. He wasn't blonde, but long hair.
What Jesus was.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, my point is, you're watching this at 12, and you're like,
I prefer the baby Jesus.
8 pounds, 6 ounce, never said a word.
Sorry.
John, stop it.
Sorry.
Stop it.
All right.
And I'm not getting, and by the way, I'm not getting religious. I'm just telling you, this is how I was raised, and this is one of those made-for-TV movies that I watched that
Yeah.
I loved. When you're 12 years old, a 12-year-old Catholic altar boy, and you're watching this, you're like, this is it. This is
Yeah.
what happened. Even though they're all talking in British accents, and
Right.
you
No,
know,
let me tell you, Robert Powell,
yeah,
striking.
yeah, there he
Like
is.
those eyes.
There he is. There's a picture of him that
Wow.
John just posted a picture of Robert Powell as Jesus
As
from the
Jesus.
Jesus of Nazareth,
Wow.
and if
Yeah,
you've never
now I'm remembering it because I remember him like
if you've
in that
never
role.
seen it, then
Yeah.
by all means,
Wow.
um, you know,
1977.
it's free. You can watch it on Peacock, although we've just lost Peacock. I think on Tubi you can watch it for free on Tubi,
Yeah.
and which means there are commercials. But whatever. If you've never seen it, I recommend it. If you want to see that, I've never seen The Passion of the Christ.
I've seen that.
You've seen it.
Saw it in the movie theater.
Directed by Mel Gibson, written by,
That
and
was
in the original
brutal.
Aramaic, so you had to read
Yeah,
the
it was.
subtitles.
I got to tell you, that was brutal. The first movie I've ever seen where people at the end of the movie walked out in complete silence,
Right,
like
right.
not a noise, not a peep from anybody. Nobody was talking.
There were
Like
stories,
yeah, whoo,
stories of people who had committed crimes and had been on the lam for years and gone to see
yeah.
the movie and turned themselves in.
It was.
You know,
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
It was tough to watch it
yeah.
at
I've
parts too.
never seen that one. So
Yeah.
Jesus of Nazareth. I'm going to say you might
Wow,
want to
we're
go.
back. Yeah, not that this is a religious show, folks.
No. I'm just
We're
saying that show, that movie. I'm telling you, when you're a kid. All right, so this Saturday, and I have to explain this because I had the.
By the way, this is a great comment. You got to read what
Jennifer says, I wasn't born yet when it came out, but when I did see it, I was convinced that truly was. She said,
That's what he looked like. That was it.
well, when you're 12 years old, yeah, you're like, yeah, that's it, man.
That's
So,
him.
oh, no, I hear you. I know what you're saying. Anyway,
so true.
and the one that's out now called The Chosen, which there is a mini series that you can watch.
That's pretty good too.
And they haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of that. They're releasing it in the theaters.
It's like season 3 or something.
Four.
Now.
Season four in the
Oh,
theaters with yeah, you're behind.
Right.
So okay, so this Saturday. Well, actually, let me take you back. Greatest Wife Ever and I. It was the Saturday before Easter, and it was just she and I, and we decided we were going to go out in downtown in our town, hometown of Frederick, Maryland. And it's in central Maryland, and there's a great little downtown restaurant and bar district on Market Street, and a lot of there's a lot of great restaurants, but there's also a lot of great art galleries. It's a booming art scene, which in downtown Frederick. It's interesting. I've never noticed that before. We didn't notice that before. When you're a kid growing up, we were Frederick, Maryland was a farm town. You had a lot of dairy farms in the area. A lot of dairy farms in the area.
Absolutely true.
And anyway, and there's a lot of history in downtown Frederick, especially with the Civil War and that. But I think it was before. It was founded before the U.S. was a country. Anyway, so we're going downtown. We show up at this bar in downtown Frederick. Shout out to, gosh, it's not called Griff's anymore. It's where Griff's was, Shuck and Shack. So we show up at the Shuck and Shack, and we're sitting down and we're having a drink, and she puts it out on the internet that we're here. We're day drinking. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. we're at the Shuck and Shack, and she puts that out.
Come join us.
Oh, hey, we're here. Come by and see us. So we started gathering people like a snowball, going from bar to bar to bar, having a drink. And it got to be, I don't know, 15, 20 of us. And we ended up, I think, this Easter Saturday. Well, we had nothing to do. Easter Saturday, we're out running around, and that's it. So we created our own pub crawl. So the next year, Greatest Wife Ever decides to let's get it organized. So we created a Facebook event and invited people, and it has just snowballed from there. Because then somebody went, "Ooh, I'll make T-shirts." So we had a T-shirt
What?
Yes, there was a T-shirt with the Easter Bunny bar hop. Okay, and on the back was all of the restaurants that we were going to, and you could check
Of
it off. And
course.
we would go into the
Right.
restaurant, and I would
And
have
then
them. They would
somebody,
check it off.
Sharpie. Yeah.
Somebody would check it off with a Sharpie. Oh, I would get them to sign it. I would get the bartender to sign this
Yeah.
because they thought that was the coolest thing. And we went,
Yeah.
and we had ears, and we had the last year I had the nose, but a little cottontail, and
How was drinking with the nose?
well, I had a straw.
Okay.
You had a straw,
That makes sense.
so
Now.
I made.
I was wondering how you were pulling that off.
Well, it's funny now because now we have this large amount of bars, but I don't drink at every one of them. If I
Why
would,
not?
I would be dead.
You're right. Because I'd be.
A lot of them.
Clark, I would rather not. The holidays
That was for
dead.
the holidays dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
So we've got the Easter Bunny bar hop, although and it's gone through a bunch of renames. There's cocktails and cottontails and all of that.
I like the bunny bar hop.
Easter Bunny bar hop.
Yeah, the alliteration is good.
And so now on the Facebook page, which is on the events page, which is funny, I'll have to find some pictures and post them up. Is we now post. Well, I did post one on Instagram and on my Twitter yesterday when I was announcing that, and it's usually kids who are horrified sitting at the pictures of kids with the Easter Bunny, and they're just horrified. They're just in abject terror. I'm sorry that it's funny. I don't know why you would subject your child. Clearly, the child does not like you think it's cute.
You know,
we have a great one. Hang on, we have a great one. I'll post that too. Of Carolina. This is the. Is it with the Easter Bunny? Is she smiling with the Easter Bunny, or is it the one with Santa? There's one with Santa where she's got a Wednesday Addams face. And I'll post that picture and then I'll zoom in on her face, which is the best. I don't know why people would do. I mean, I stopped doing that once, I used to terrorize Carolina, the younger one. We would walk by in the mall or whatever. If Santa was there in the mall and we'd walk by and she's looking at him as she's walking by. And I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to go and we'll do this candle store. Sorry, John is posting pictures now.
There's a whole
there's a whole page. It's a whole page. It's a whole page.
What is that? Oh no! Look at
this is not good for you.
We're not going to be able to get through the podcast.
No.
I keep putting these up here.
Okay, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Where did you go, John?
I put up terrified Easter Bunny pictures.
Yeah, terrified Easter Bunny pictures. If you want to play along, if you're listening to the podcast, the kid's trying to get away, just can't. Now that's not a bad Easter Bunny, but the kid does not want to be there.
No, but
go ahead, sit down. All right, John.
All right, I gotta stop. All right, I'm gonna stop. We're not gonna be able to do it. I'll just keep.
Sorry, the podcast is just giggling.
I know. It's like Doritos. You can't have just one. You gotta go in and oh my gosh, these are great.
Ellen used to do that. Ellen on her talk show used to show those pictures.
Really?
Which yeah, absolutely.
It's just, I mean, I'm sure there's the Santa Claus pictures too, but there's something about the Easter Bunny. Like back when some of the pictures were just that the bunnies were so bad.
This looks like a rabbit. No, absolutely not. All right. So the Easter Bunny Bar Hop is going on this weekend. And now we have commemorative T-shirts. We have new T-shirts because we had a graphic artist. Wait a minute. Do I still have it? Hold on.
I was just thinking, this would be a great way to raise money for something.
And then
I like sell 25, a limited edition of 25 shirts that you get to be a part of, and then you pay $25 a piece or something, and then that goes to charity.
See, you can also get the commemorative keychain.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so there's a keychain that they made. That's the logo this year.
Huh.
and the
Yeah.
with the because we change it every year.
That's good. This is good.
The
It's
Easter Bunny.
fantastic.
Yeah, Easter. It's snowball. It is. There's a lot of people, and it's like, are we all going to the same bar at the same time? Because we're looking
Right.
at like 20, 40 people now
Right.
to start.
Yeah.
And so it's like we've tried to make it really casual. I'm like, hey, you can go wherever you want.
Right.
We'll see you along the way. We just kind of
And
want to
that'll be
flood.
fun running into everybody. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe everybody just gets shirts that they check, and you don't do an organize. You name the places, but you don't do an
Yeah,
organized
you're not
walk
doing
from
it.
each
Yeah, no,
one.
no, no. We don't
But then,
swarm. Well,
but
although we
yeah,
did one
oh, this
time.
is I'm like putting this in my head for All About Cats, the organization that we
Oh,
volunteer for.
do it.
Like
Do it, John.
that would be a great idea. Do
Do it.
shirts,
And
and then you
everybody
check
has
them off, and
cat
everybody
ears.
goes to.
Everybody wears cat ears and whiskers. John, you got to. And a
That's
big cat tail.
that's
You
funny.
have to. You
It's
have
funny.
to.
All right, it's a great idea, actually.
And
Thank you
then
for
make it a fundraiser. And
yeah.
then so we
Jim
did walk.
says bunny bar hop 3 hours before your MRI.
No, it's after.
Oh,
It's
after?
after.
He
It'll be
said
after my
before,
MRI.
but
No.
I think he's saying you need
Oh, I see what
you
he's
need
saying.
the
Oh, then I'll be asleep. I see what you're saying.
yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Probably alcohol in the system is not what they want to look at.
No, probably not.
Have you been drinking, Mr. Ross? Yeah, I just need to relax. Just a couple, take the edge off.
Nothing.
You can't be here. Now you had to leave. Reschedule.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday. Weather. I hope the weather is going to be all right. We should be all right. Hopefully. And because I'm walking around town and I've got the Easter bunny and the ears on, and I've got a cottontail, and I'm just walking across the street with my friend James, and somebody took just a candid shot. I didn't know the picture was being taken. So there we are, and greatest wave ever loves this shot of just James and me with our Easter bunny ears on. So I'll have to find that. I'll post that up on the excuse me, on our Facebook and our Instagram and on my Twitter.
Please
Radio Ron Ross or Ron Ross Radio. It's one of the two. Anyway,
figure it out, Ron. Would you?
that's going to be fun. So Easter Sunday is coming. We and I remember as a kid, and maybe you did this, John. You had to have the paws, Easter eggs.
Yeah. Everybody did them.
You
Everybody did them.
You have
Everyone did it. The little, the thing, the fizzy, the thing they would like fizz a little bit when they'd go and make the color and the whole. Yeah.
Well, to this day, the smell of vinegar makes me think of
Easter eggs.
Easter. Yeah, because you had to do that. But
what did the vinegar do? Was that part of the coloring?
Vinegar,
or?
yeah, no, vinegar was the acid to dissolve the dye.
Okay.
The dye
I was
tablet.
wondering if it like delaminated the egg or something too, and it helped the color stick to it.
No, I think, but
There might be some chemical going on there.
Is it red? Well, I don't know. I thought maybe it was just the dye. I don't know. I never really got that far into it. I would try. I did, as you got older. One year or a couple of years ago, during the pandemic, during lockdown, I did a Tiger King egg from the Tiger King. Remember the tiger?
Yeah, I know the Tiger King. I'm just like trying to imagine my head is like spinning.
I did a tiger.
I'm imagining what a tiger.
I did a tiger, and then I did Tiger King, and he had yarn blonde hair, and I made a little cap for him. Jennifer says vinegar enhances the color.
Does it?
Okay, I don't know. I don't
know.
I just remember Pause was the only
I think
game.
Jennifer's just making stuff.
And no, she's not. No, she's not. But if you want to hear a great comedy bit, one of my favorite comedians is Patton Oswalt. Look it up. Just look up Patton Oswalt and Pause, Paas, and he does an incredible
thing. He does a bit on Pause.
He does a bit about Pause.
Wow,
because they're the only game in town, and we're going to do just 4 colors. I can't do justice to it. You have to listen to it.
That's funny.
It's very, very.
I could
funny.
see where that would be funny. It's true.
Now, in my house as a kid growing up, the Easter Bunny hid the real eggs.
Yeah, that's what the Easter Bunny does.
Yeah,
he doesn't hide plastic eggs
unless no, they do now.
No,
the
he
Easter
doesn't.
Bunny, yes, it
Not
does.
my Easter Bunny doesn't. Do that.
My Easter Bunny does. I'm telling you.
Then he's a fraud.
he's not a fraud.
Your Easter Bunny's a fraud, Ron.
Relax. Everything's back it up. Doot, doot, doot. So but
Beep, beep,
there might be
beep,
that one
beep.
egg that you don't find, and that happened.
Oh yeah.
It was in the couch, in behind underneath the cushions.
No.
It was in the couch. Now it never broke, and it didn't smell.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about it is, and I didn't know this, and I guess it was a hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
It had to have been a hard-boiled egg, but the yolk had solidified, and it was hard as a rock. You could hear it rattling around.
Oh, really?
Inside. And my mom was like, "Don't break that! Don't you break it!" I'm like, "Hey, look!" And it was like July when we found it, because the Easter Bunny had forgotten where the where it had been hidden. So it was funny to retrieve that, I thought.
That is
but
funny.
now it's the plastic eggs around here, and we're going to be hiding some eggs. Or the Easter Bunny's going to hide eggs for the grandson now, so that's always fun. Yeah. We have the Easter egg scramble. Okay, and then are we past time? No, we got a little bit.
No, we're good. We're good. We're still good. We're good.
So, in addition to, and I was talking a little bit earlier about how the Jesus of Nazareth and watching the Last Supper, and you're trying to wrap your head around the fact that it was a Seder meal. You also have Passover that happens around this time of year, depending on the Jewish calendar lining up with the Christian calendar.
Hey, wait. Speaking of calendars,
yes.
Do you know how Easter is determined each year? Like the date for Easter?
I did. I don't now. It's 40 days after Ash Wednesday. No. But when is Ash Wednesday?
No, it's not. And go look this up. Like my wife and I looked up the whole Easter thing, and I'd have to go find it now again. But there is like this mathematical calculation that goes on, and because we were surprised when it was falling this year as compared with other years.
Yeah, it's early.
But it can be a range of, I forget how many days, and it's complex how it's determined. Folks, just go look it up on your own time. I would read it. I'd go find it now. But I'm
not going to tell you about it. Look it up yourself.
No, well, I should have been better prepared, but I didn't know you.
I know you threw out a question without an answer.
I know. Wait, let me consult the book of knowledge here. How is the day?
No, don't.
Yes.
God, what are you doing? All right, you look that up while I'll talk about Passover.
Yeah.
So, also the tradition at the time is to watch the 10 Commandments, the original from Cecil B. DeMille and Charlton Heston. And behold his mighty hand. And every year I post a picture of Edward G. Robinson, who was completely miscast as Dothan, an Egyptian. No, he was Jewish who he collaborated with the Egyptians, I think.
Yep.
How can you make bricks without straw? See, Where's your Moses now? So,
yeah, see.
See?
By the way, I put it in the chat window, the whole thing.
Okay.
It's complex. It's a Latin calculation, a word for computation called computus, that determines how Easter is celebrated the first Sunday after the Paschal full moon, which is the first full moon on or after the 21st of March.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes complete sense.
No, and it gets worse from there. Just keep reading it, folks. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know. I didn't want to leave you hanging. Here at the Ron Ross Radio Show, we live to serve.
We live to serve.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So
moving on.
Passover though is coming up in April. And and not too long, I told you last week about how the greatest wife ever made these pierogies. Well, I have a friend that I worked with. She was a server and I was a cook at the Main Cup in Middletown,
Maryland.
In Middletown, Maryland. I was a line cook, and Shelly's a server, and Shelly is Jewish, and every year I'm like, when are you going to bring in matzo ball soup. I'm an addict for matzo ball soup. I had it one time at the Carnegie Deli in New York City.
Oh,
And
see,
I had
yeah,
never seen a matzo ball. It wasn't softball size, but it was pretty close.
yeah.
Because the server brought it out and he just puts down this bowl with this giant matzo ball in it. And then he brings out the most beautiful this silver dish about that deep and had a handle on it of the most beautiful golden, completely clarified, maybe a few little bits of dill or parsley or
Things,
whatever
yeah,
of
green.
this
Mm-hmm.
chicken
Mm-hmm.
broth
The
and
broth, yeah.
poured it over the into the bowl and I'm like, oh,
That's the presentation right there.
oh my
Yeah,
goodness. So anyway, Shelly and I were talking and I told her and I just saw her not too long ago and said we were going to be making pierogies and that my dad had sent me the recipe that I told you that story, but that
right.
my mom had written down from my babusha, my Polish grandmother.
By the way, you need to send me that or post that online so everybody
Oh,
can
okay,
have it.
yeah. No,
And
I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that.
people now will share the Ross recipe for generations
Okay,
out there.
very
It'll
good.
be cool.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And so I said, where? And she goes, I will send you. What did she say? My babchas, my boobalas, my whatever. Her grandmother's
Great name.
matzo ball recipe, and
Okay.
she sent it to me.
You
And
have it?
I have it.
Look at
So
that.
Passover, I'm going to be making some,
Let me
and
know how
I want
that
to get the.
goes. You may need to post that recipe too.
I
Then.
am. I might just do a video. I might just do a cooking video of
Oh,
that.
that would be good.
Of putting that all together because I'm so excited.
Okay.
I've actually
It's a
bought.
new podcast.
I bought cooking with
Ross.
Ron. I don't even want to do that, but but I'm so excited to do this because my quest now is not just the matzo ball. My quest is going to be to make that perfect. And I'm not going to use any chicken base. I'm going to make chicken base myself. Make that
Nice.
perfect golden.
Yeah.
That's my goal now. That's my thing. That's what I'm going to try to do is to come up with that perfect chicken soup, that chicken broth for the. And Napu was like, "Do the video, please, please." All right, we might. I might have to. It might have to be edited though. Like, it's not going to be. We're not going to go Facebook Live. And
No.
that's going to be hours.
Yeah.
It'll be hours, but we'll shoot a video and then we'll shoot a video and then we'll edit it.
Condense it. Yeah, just do like the sky cam thing and then
See if I can convince the greatest wife ever to appear in it with me.
Yeah. Dual cam shoot though, please.
Speaking of which, greatest wife ever has decided over in the past 2 weeks or whatever, and she's taking the calorie counting calories very, very seriously, and has developed all of these great meals. She made this one chicken and what was it, mushrooms and onions and carrots or whatever, and she's going, no points. You can eat as much as you want all night. I'm like, what are you talking about? White meat chicken, and I got full on chicken and vegetables. It was amazing. She's
it was
really
amazing.
has.
It was really amazing.
It was great.
Stuff.
You are
great.
Rick.
You're fantastic.
Wonderful.
Greatest wife ever. This
Rick,
is wonderful. That's what
James.
I picture around your table. Jenny, this is wonderful.
No,
this is fantastic.
Trust me, she does not. We were talking. Oh, we were on the phone earlier this week. On the phone, trying to make the appointments for the MRIs and all that stuff.
Right.
Looking at this woman, and I made some joke.
Yeah.
And she kind of laughed. The operator when we were talking to make the scheduling, she kind of laughed. And the greatest one ever is just like rolling her eyes or whatever. And I'm like, see, and she doesn't think it's funny. She goes, well, she's probably heard it 1,000 times. And I said, no, it was a new joke. I just made this joke up. And she goes, and Grace Weber's just kind of like,
Yeah, my wife does that too.
That's why I'm totally surprised whenever she says she's listened to the podcast. I'm like, what?
Really?
Why would you do that?
Right. Yeah. You've heard these jokes a few times
You've
and
heard it.
stories. You've lived these stories.
Although
It's
she will
okay.
be, she probably was laughing at the pictures of the terrified children in the
Oh,
Easter Bunny. I guarantee you. Oh, it's
gosh.
almost baseball season. Here we go.
Hey,
Go O's. Let's go O's. But I'm
go
raising
Phils.
my Baltimore Oriole coffee cup. So there you go. And
Go
Baltimore
Phils,
Star.
go O's. I root for both of them.
Mm.
I know, I'm a weird sports fan.
Well, you got a National League and a
Right, you
right.
get it.
I do get it. You have a National League team and an American League team.
Yeah, I never.
All right. Are we ready? Or you want to do this? Here we go.
Are we ready?
We're
Okay.
ready. All right. Because I
We're
think
ready.
I've had a. Oh, I'm talking about the Ten Commandments and the matzo ball soup. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Keeping it light, bright, and tight this
That's
morning.
oh yeah, no, John's got a hard out.
I got a
like
conference. Because I'm in where?
that. You're in
In
Florida.
the most magical place in the world. Yeah, I'm in Walt
At
Disney World
Middletown?
right now.
Oh.
Right. No, I'm at a Pop Century Resort at Walt Disney World right now, and I have a convention over at the Swan and Dolphin.
Okay, now here's a question, John.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a business,
Yes, Ron.
literally a business
Your
question.
question for John.
Is it a conference for Intercot or is it a
No, it's for
conference
IEEE.
for
who I
your
work
job?
For. I'm a
For your full-time job?
Yeah, that's my.
Wait a minute.
For
So
have we
hold
ever
on,
explained
time
what
out,
I
wait a
do
minute,
for
hold on,
my
hold
full time job? Go
So
ahead.
who arranged this?
Huh. It just happens to be here.
Come on, John.
It's
Come
me
on.
and a coworker, by the way.
Yeah. Did you arrange it?
I mean, what does that have
Did
anything to do
you
with it?
pick Disney? Is my question.
I didn't pick Disney. I picked the Reagan Social Media Conference, which happens at Disney.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just good.
All that means is you have something to do at night
Yeah.
while you're here.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so it's not a bad thing. Honestly, there are a lot
It was
of
a bad thing.
major conferences that happen in and around the town of Orlando. If you look, and some of the best ones are here or on the West Coast in places like Vegas or Los Angeles or major cities. So, for this one, it's one we've been to a few times before. It's got some value. It's not cheap though. But
Yeah.
like for example, Adobe runs a big conference, for all the graphic programs and things like that, called Adobe Max, and it's normally in Los Angeles. It's going to be in Miami this year.
Okay.
That's a
Nice.
great location to go to
Yeah.
for a conference. But
Nice.
anyway, yeah, we're at Disney.
So here's my question.
Yes.
Since we proved that we could basically do everything from home during lockdown of the pandemic,
Sure.
wouldn't you just do that now and save all the money on the I mean, I know the hotels want these
No,
conferences.
you know what? That's a great question, and I'm going to give you the straight out honest answer of that. In-person learning and networking is not the same as doing it on a screen. I don't care what you do, and I
Okay.
think we learned over the course of the pandemic, people get burnout watching Zoom calls. But when you're in a room, you are engaged, you are there, you are present, you are sitting next to somebody, and quite frankly, almost at every conference I go to, I learn more from the people who are there at the conference than the presenters, which means that oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Right? Go
I'm
on.
kidding. John, I'm kidding.
Beep,
I'm kidding. I'm
beep,
John.
beep,
John, I
beep,
was kidding. It was a joke.
No. It is true, though. There
Yeah.
are some really smart people that attend these conferences. So it's the
Yeah.
networking.
Okay. All right.
It
I
really
got you.
is.
All right. I got you. Okay.
Plus,
Very cool.
I don't do well like normally this kind of thing like that we're doing here, other than when I'm
I don't
when I'm
do-
actually talking.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
do well watching videos of
Right.
stuff, people doing things. I
I-
like to sit there with my computer and do stuff
I understand.
and talk with people.
Makes a lot of sense.
I'm
No,
old
I got you, John. I was just being devil's advocate.
It's
I mean,
all
I like being in the presence of other people as well. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about my new job. Well, it'll be a year, June 1st, of working at Key 103 Radio doing an
Right.
afternoon show. As
You get to interact with people.
I physically walk out of the house. I worked
Right.
at home for 3
That's
years.
another thing too. Yeah.
Walked out of the house and I actually walk into another building and I say hi to Lil and
Yeah.
hi and oh you're here and all of the things. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the other thing too is being a corporate communicator. you learn to actually communicate with people, like sitting around a table. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, you know, we're terrible, both of us. We'll go to the grocery store and I'll spend 20 minutes talking to the checker, like to the point where my wife is like, "Can we go?" Like, seriously, John? Really?
Well,
Like,
I get
oh,
the
look at that wine. Oh, have you had that? Yeah, I've had that. It's amazing. Have you tried the other one? You have like five different varieties. Like, we're off to the races.
I get the I now have the Adam Sandler comeback because the greatest wife ever will just say, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Well, you are."
Yeah.
So it's time to go.
Yep. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've got people agreeing with me, by the way.
okay,
So,
good. No, I totally agree with you. I was just messing with you, John.
I know.
Because it just seems like economically it would make sense to
It
just
did
take
for a
everything
while.
on a Zoom. Yeah.
But I
But
ultimately the payoff is in the I go to things like this and hope to learn 1 to 2 good things a day that I can take back and turn into tangible results at my company. If I do that, it's worth every bit of money we spend on it.
well, there you go. All right.
So,
So see, that makes total sense. And it's nice to hear that you're towing the company line, John. Good job. We're at a
shut up,
conference. I
Ron.
want to learn things.
Shut up, Ron.
What? I'm saying
Jerk.
you're being sincere, John. I get it. I'm just messing with
Hey,
you.
everybody, call and leave a message at 240-415-9090 about what you think about these kind of things, okay? You
All
know,
right.
do you agree with John or do you
I
agree
love
with
him.
Ron?
I went to a couple. Don't put me on the opposite end of this. I have more than once put a disclaimer and said I was just messing with you.
I know.
Also, that
Anyway,
the
yeah.
that and I've been to one radio conference and nothing got done there. So
You never were you to
it's
NAB
been-
or anything
that
like
was
that?
my
or-
no. What was it? It was it Billboard? It was Billboard. Billboard, not the magazine, but Billboard Monitor, which was the one for radio people. So
Okay.
it's it was a magazine that had it wasn't Radio and Records. Radio and Records was the Bible, the industry Bible. I can't believe it's gone. I used to have a subscription of that. It was one issue that came out every week.
I was a reporter to
I love
as a reporting station to Radio and Records.
Yeah, R&R.
I got Magic 106.9 listed as a reporter.
Well, 107X, the previous incarnation of the rock station, was an R&R.
Yeah.
Reporter. Yeah. And it was it was you report your playlist and then record companies would pay attention to you.
Correct. You would get product,
give you what's called service.
And,
they would give you service.
Right.
And
made a big difference. Anyway, yeah, inside baseball.
We're running out of time. All right, so it's time. Are you ready, John? Are you in good voice? You ready?
All right. Of all places, too, by the way.
I know, right?
Right?
It's time. Is she right?
Is she right? No. No.
Again, that's another reference to
Dynamite.
All right. Yep. Time to get the gray matter working. Fire off the synapses, engage frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh/John says, it's time to
think.
Bing! Ding! It's the dun, dun, dun. Question of the day. Right. The QOD, and also it's for pride, not prize. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here's today's question of the day.
This is interesting.
This Irving Berlin written classic song was performed by Bing Crosby in the movie Holiday Inn, and he had a hit record with it. Was later developed into its own film. What was the song? Okay, one more time. Easy. One more time. This Irving Berlin written classic song was performed by Bing Crosby in the movie Holiday Inn and had a hit record with it. Was later developed into its own film. What was this song? And you have to sing your own Jeopardy theme. Oh, good law.
Oh yeah, and good law.
Actually, you don't have to wait for 30 seconds. You can go ahead and post your answer right now if you'd like, instead of looking it up. Okay. All right. John. We're good. Bum. Do we have some answers? Because last week I was told, good, it was so easy.
We had one.
All right.
Wait, There's two. All
Okay.
right, here we go. Ready?
All right.
All right, ready? Are you ready? Are you
Okay.
ready? Here we
All right.
go.
Yeah, here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
All right. First answer. Jim says White Christmas. Not the answer I was going for.
Oh my.
Not the
Oh
answer
my.
I was going for. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Hold on. All right. Then we've got Jennifer.
Hippity hoppity Easter is on its way. You're in the right field, the
Neighborhood.
right area, but it wasn't Here Comes Peter Cottontail. Was it the Easter Bonnet? Easter Bonnet is part of the lyrics to the song.
Uh-oh. Now you've stumped
In
people.
my Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it, you'll be the loveliest lady or whatever. In the title of the song. So I'm giving it to you now. I'm giving it to you.
I'm waiting to see if people, there's a slight delay here.
There is a slight. Okay, there we go.
About
Yeah, Jim comes back with Easter Parade. There you go. Nice job. Yes, Jim, you were right with White Christmas, but there were two songs. Actually, Irving Berlin thought Easter Parade would be the bigger hit. He had no idea that White Christmas would become the biggest selling single of all time, out of all singles, not just Christmas songs,
right,
but of all time. But he thought it was going to be Easter Parade. Easter Parade he had written it years before, and it had been in plays and had been in a couple of movies, and then finally it was included in Holiday Inn. And Bing Crosby.
No, let's not bring him up. Let's not bring.
No, I'm sorry. Bing Crosby sang the song. And he also did White Christmas, but he sang Easter Parade in that. And then they later made the movie Easter Parade, which starred anyone? Bueller?
No one? Anyone?
Fred Astaire and Judy Garland.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Easter Parade. Hey, there's Debbie. Oh my goodness. Debbie, friend of ours. Debbie, we were just talking about Rick and playing trivia, and we said Debbie actually originated the trivia team that later.
Yes. This was in the pre-show chat.
Yes, when John and I were chatting, we were literally
miss you, Debbie. Come visit me, please.
Well, you're all the way up she's down in Florida now.
She passes us.
Yeah, but she's there
Exit
now, so she's not passing you right now.
Right, but
she's
I mean when
she's 1,000 miles away.
Don't tell me how I can have my friends come visit me, and you too. All right, I'm waiting for you to set a date.
We're on our way.
All right.
Anyway. But hey, Debbie went to high school with my greatest wife ever.
Yes.
Linganore High School. So, Hey, Debbie. It's good to talk to you again. Literally was just talking about you earlier this morning, you and Rick.
She says she's right there in Frederick.
Oh, you're in Frederick today.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
I did not know that. Well, I thought she was in
I'm tighter with Debbie.
She's got this. Maybe it's possible. It's entirely possible. Debbie, she's got these great house.
Things are going well, Debbie.
She tells me about this great house she's got in this neighborhood in Florida now.
Yeah,
and then
it's
like
just right on the little water canal.
First day they walked outside and people are like walking around and like pulling their chairs out and drinks, and it's happy hour, 4:00. And then
nothing wrong with that.
First day they were there, and she said it's
nothing wrong with
every day. And I'm like, I want to live there.
Every day's a party.
Every day.
Every day's a party, and you're invited.
I want to be in that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Easter Parade was the name of the song. So there you go. There's your answer. Jim got that. So thank you so much. Congratulations, Jim. You got Pride Not Prize. Carry that around with you all weekend. Yes. And your Pride has giant bunny ears.
Yes.
And there you go. Some giant bunny ears and little buck teeth.
Yes.
And
very good. Nice.
So, all right, listen. So John's got what they call a hard out. So he's going to have to go. We're going to be back BAU next week.
Tuesday, time too.
11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. And we'll be on our YouTube channel and here on Facebook. But you can get this podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can listen on on your iPhone or wherever you get your podcasts, because we're going to
That's it.
post these up. And by we, I
Yes.
mean John.
John will do that.
We will post these up and get them out there. All right. So
Right.
listen, have yourself a wonderful Easter weekend. And I'm going to have tons of ham. I'll have all the ham.
Yeah.
So if you know Patton Oswalt, you know that quite. All right, John's got to go. All right, listen, please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. Ron Ross, John Yaglensky, love you, mean it. Bicycle.
Bye now.